You have much more control over your subconscious mind than you've been led to believe, but you have relatively little control over your actual thinking. Let me explain. Try not to think of elephants for the next 5 seconds. Dun, 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 dun. Nothing you can do to stop that, by the way. You'll be thinking of elephants. When you're listening to me right now, you're probably all completely unaware of what your left foot feels like. But now you're all very aware of it, and there's nothing you can do about that either. Your thinking is under a lot less control than you think it is, but your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, where the real action is at, is very, very much under your control if you take that control. If you don't take control, trust me, somebody else will. TV, radio advertisers are constantly bombarding your brain, trying to program you in the direction they want you programmed in. The government is an expert at it. Advertisers are always trying to do it. If you don't do it, they will. If you don't do it, the naysayers around you will. You've got to be able to control the visionary thinking. And it really is controllable quite easily. It does follow some very simple rules. First, let's examine what it is we are talking about, visionary thinking. The people who are very successful and do tend to rise to the top, we have a nomenclature for them. It's no accident that we call the phenomenally successful people in our culture visionaries. Let's look at some simple examples. How many people in the early 70s could have seen clearly and predicted the computer revolution? That here in 2007, 99% of us would have a computer on our desk. Who could have clearly seen that? Well, one person who clearly saw that was a guy named Bill Gates. At the time, he was a sophomore in Harvard. He was a straight-A student doing very, very well, but he could so clearly see the coming computer revolution. He drops out of Harvard in his sophomore year because he didn't want to miss 2 years of this revolution. Those around him are saying, you're crazy, you're nuts, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you mean. He could see it so clearly. Who is he today? He is the richest man in the world. He is what we call a visionary. Berkshire Hathaway, this guy, the mentor from Omaha, has a very clear vision of where companies are going. He saw value in companies, and he continues to see value in companies that other people are discarding and their stock prices dropping. He sees the vision, he sees the value, he buys into it. He is the second richest man in the world. The people that are visionaries are the ones that tend to rise to the top. And one thing that's really going to help sustain you in the coming months and years will be a very clear vision of who you are in relation to this company and where you want to be. Let's start by where you are. How do you see yourself right now? As an AE, what is the picture that you carry around inside your head? Because that picture is going to affect your performance every single day. It's going to decide whether you ask for referrals or forget. It's going to decide whether you sit down and prospect or sit there and read the newspaper. It's going to decide whether you are constructively aggressive when you're working with these people or just passive and letting them control the interview and the appointment. This little image that floats around in the back of your head has a lot to do with where you end up in this business. Your own vision of yourself. Your subconscious self-image. Let me share with you what that image is right now. Take a moment, try to remember the last time you took a bath or a shower. The last time you were taking a bath or a shower. No doubt, that was just a few hours ago, but take a moment and try to remember it. For most, if not all of you in this room now, when I ask you to remember taking a shower or a bath, didn't you all just do this? Didn't you mentally pull your mind outside of yourself? Isn't it like you're outside of you looking at yourself? Standing in that shower or sitting in that bathtub? You've kind of removed your conscious mind and stuck yourself in the picture. I'd like to point out that is not the way it actually happened. When you were taking the shower or the bath, you were seeing things through your eyes, weren't you? If you were remembering it accurately, if it really was a mental picture, all you should be seeing now are tiles on the wall or fixtures on the bathtub. That's the way it was recorded. It is not the way most of you actually remember it. Most of you remember it as if you are standing in there or sitting in that shower or that tub. Where did you come from? You came right out of your subconscious mind. Take a good look at that picture. That is what you think you look like. That is your subconscious self-image. And that image has some very profound implications. If you just pulled out a picture of an overweight person, you're probably going to have a weight problem until you change the picture. And I don't care what diet you get on. You can drop 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds. You could look great when you look in the mirror, but if in the back of your mind you still see yourself as an overweight person, you're going to turn around and gain that weight right back. Who's the most recent example of that little phenomenon? Lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it. Who does that? Oprah Winfrey. By my count, Oprah's lost the same 40 pounds 4 times now. She loses it, she looks terrific, and gradually gains it back. This is a billionairess we're talking about, by the way. A woman who has personal trainers, chefs. She announces on national television that she's going to lose the weight. She loses it, looks terrific. And then about a year and a half later, it goes right back where she started from because she has an image in the back of her head. Now, I've asked you to see yourself in a shower or a bath. Take a different picture. Remember the last time you were sitting face-to-face with a broker. Last time you were sitting in a broker's office, or they were in yours, last time you were face-to-face with a broker. For most of you, again, you're outside of yourself looking at yourself. When I asked you to remember that, what just popped out of your subconscious mind? I'm not going to point to anybody in the room, but I can tell some of you in here are in trouble. Because when I ask people to remember that, there are some people that a little smile comes across their face, they kind of sit up a little bit, their shoulders go back. You can tell they had a real good appointment. And some people just get nervous, they look down, they frown, they grit their teeth, and you can tell that was a disaster. Because when I ask you to remember, you're in that picture too, right? What image pops out when I ask you to remember seeing yourself toe-to-toe with a broker? For some of you, it's a very positive image. For some of you, it's a very negative image. And that image you carry around inside your head every single day is going to have a lot to do with the way you present yourself to these people. If you are confident, if you do have a positive attitude, if you do have a positive vision of the future, you don't realize it, but you walk into that appointment and your shoulders are back a little bit and there's a set in your eyes and there's a certain tone in your voice and a certain confidence that you exude. But if you go in there, oh, please, I really need this, and you don't realize it, but you're dropping your shoulders, you're darting your eyes, there's a choppiness in your voice, you teach these people how to deal with you or not deal with you. It's that image again. You change the image, you change the performance.